Well, it looks like Luciano sold the two RDs to Ray, which means they'll still be in our family and friends for many years to come. But we started off this Saturday up by Luciano's. He's getting ready for track day. And of course there's parts and motors and tires and everything everywhere here. But I wanted to get a couple of these pictures of these RDs before they go to Florida. One's going to North Carolina, one's going to Florida. But they will still stay within our circle of friends. And these are really nice if you haven't seen them in real life. These are a rare find to have a matched pair like this. That really are, and I've done the paintwork on both of them, so they're really a real high quality finish. They match. They have a lot of accessories on them. And again, whenever we've ever gotten ready for a track day, things are pretty chaotic. But boy, it was just too nice of a day, so we convinced Luciano he's got to take a ride. And he got to ride his son's bike, which had just come back from a track day and had the track tires all scuffed in nice. So I'm not sure his son knows he took the bike, but that's okay. What happens at Luciano's stays at Luciano's. That's always the case. But anyway, this was a great Saturday, and as we're getting into the meat of the riding season here, there's just one crazy thing after another. We got to see, this is the old clutch that was on the Ducati when Luciano bought it from Joe, and it was worn, it needed to be replaced, and he got all brand new. I'm not sure if they're real Ducati or aftermarket, but it's all installed now. And he showed me what the plates look like. You know, they had a lot of wear on it, and especially on the end of the teeth. And you can see if you look real close in the basket, there's almost teeth marks. So what I told him to do is paint this all up with silver paint and put it back in the original package, and we'll give it to Larry. I don't know, but you can see how these wear in because they're dry. And this was really rattling around there after a while. You can see how much clearance there is in there. Wow. It's just like taking a hammer and beating on something. But anyway, now Tim went with Luciano last time to the last track day, and they took my bike, but they never got to ride it. There was a fuel leak in it, so I think Tim's looking forward to riding something in the pits maybe. I don't know. We don't know yet. But anyway, he's got a beautiful TZ, and this one he did a bunch of little things to it. I don't remember what they were, but a bunch of little cleanups or fancy ups or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we had the guy that is he's the mountain guard or whatever it is. He was telling us some funny stories. We got there nice and early, and there was a bunch of guys with carbon fiber bicycles up there. And of course, Tim is little by little getting his restoration done on this, polishing parts and waxing it every time he's over at the house. The old West Cooley bike always has somebody running over and drooling on it or wanting to take a picture by it or something. I'm not sure. This young lady joined us. She had a GS. Now, I asked her a funny thing. I said, are you watching that it's on TV about the guy that took 3 people, one's a woman doctor and 2 other guys or 3 other guys, down to Peru to ride in the dirt and sand, and he trained them and all this stuff. And I said, now, since you have the exact bike here, why don't you tell us, how much does that trip cost? And she almost fell over laughing. I guess if you got to ask, you can't afford it. Talking about can't afford it, here we are at Rockwell Cycle, where today, what happened, I originally was going to go up to the onion fields, but I ran into some friends over at Rockwell, and we decided, as many days unfold, that bullshit is always a lot better than no bullshit. And of course, the first thing we have to do every day is check Jerry's chain on his Triumph. Now, the first day it really was a little rusty. I noticed he's got plenty of lube on it now. Of course, then the second day it was a little loose, so we tightened it up, and now we checked it, and it looks like it's a little tight now. So, but he's been taking it like a man. I guess you have no choice in this group of diapers that we hang around with. Anyway, had some fun up the mountain. Of course, there's always somebody new. Now, the thing is, there's always somebody new to interact with. And this, I thought this was unbelievably funny. These guys, we had never met them before. They young guys, they came in on, I'm not sure, on Kawasaki's or whatever they had here, Suzuki's. But and we were hanging around and looking at some of the different things. Now, the one guy, oh wait, before that even went down, we walked the Murderer's Row here, and I had seen something I had never seen before. See, I didn't know that Ducati at one time made a chrome Ducati. See, as much of a guru as I am on details that don't matter and facts that nobody cares about, I never realized they made an all chrome Ducati, and it was a thing you could buy off the shelf. So anyway, ran into this guy as he was getting dressed, and he went and told me the whole story of the Ducati. And this thing had chrome rims, chrome little parts everywhere. It really was a nice clean bike. Now, I really never knew, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with this picture? If you're going to go for all this chrome, why not get a set of chrome mufflers? I guess the Ducati mufflers, the real ones, are aluminum. You could polish them up or get them chromed if you're into the chrome thing. You'd also get that clutch cover chromed up. Anyway, I really didn't realize, and probably Larry knows this, and I'm sure Luciano knows it, that they actually made an all chrome Ducati at one time here. And the funny thing with everything, and as Luciano's learning more and more about Ducatis, of course, everything Ducati makes is like a Desmo, Quattro, Bimbo, Bombo, Dundo, Bombo, you know, Stretta, Testa, Resta, Mesta, Desta, and everything's got to sound so sexy. Of course, nobody on earth, even Luciano, knows what some of these words mean. So here we are, and I don't know if you can read this. This is a Ducati Monstro Chromo. Now, if there's no word Monstro Chromo, where the hell did they made that word up? It's Monstro Chromo. Can you imagine? But anyway, after a thorough, and I mean thorough check of Jerry's chain, and we don't want him getting hurt if that chain flies off and takes off his leg or a part of his nose or something. So Jerry, and of course Joe's putting mile after mile on the Guzzi, just loving this bike. He's really in love with it. I love riding this bike more than I can tell anybody. This is the most relaxing bike. If you're going to go on a 300-mile ride, this is the bike to take. Now, I thought this was not funny, but we get up to the mountain, and Joe was ahead of me, and he rode through some gum, and you can see it got all over his Moto Guzzi front fender here. He got gum-o-matic, and when you try to take gum off and it's hot, you know what it turns into, spider webs and slime and juji fruits and everything. So he did the smart thing. He waited till he got home and put some ice on it to get it off. If you have a baby in your house like we do, you know about getting messy stuff off. A really cool old MG came by just in time I could get one picture of him, but he didn't stop. And here's some of these guys on these carbon fiber bicycles we were talking to. Really cool stuff. I'm sure John Cafaro knows about this. Stacked. This thing sounded like it had a reworked, powerful engine in it. Now, here's the story I was telling before. Before I got diverted into Ducati Chromo, Balobo, or whatever, Mortadella Chromo. But anyway, these young guys came up, and they both had, T-shirts on and back protectors. And I was looking at this back protector, and I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with this picture? If you put this back protector on, how do you get your jacket on? Yeah, I mean, especially if you have a jacket like I do that has a hump in it. How do you do that? But they were riding with T-shirts and these things, and so we got the full dissertation about it. This is the difference between being a young guy. And this is cool. He had a bottle of water in here. So I'm thinking I don't know. See, I'm not smart enough to figure all this out. But anyway, it was a great Saturday. But Saturdays always end right here, and I thought I'd end it this way, at least the first half of this. Karen had just gotten the porch cleaned up from when we had the baby here, and we were getting ready to go see the fireworks. What happened? I fell asleep on the couch here, and we never got to see the fireworks. But we got up early the next morning, and here Luciano, of course, was riding a Ducati. Dwayne, we met Dwayne up the mountain, unexpectedly met him. And we're going to plan some rides. I hope Dwayne, you know, really comes through on this, because I really like riding with him. He's a cool guy. And we were waiting for one of his friends who actually showed up right at the last minute when we were getting sick of waiting for them to open up the mountain. There's Dwayne's Kawasaki. And then we had some other guys with touring bikes show up. And then, of course, Joe showed up on the MV Augusta. So we had the whole gang. I don't know what we call ourselves. But, of course, we love his Brutale. There's almost nobody that walks by the Brutale without taking a look and going, wow, nice bike. It really is a nice bike. Now, of course, for anybody who might not know the whole story, Joe owned Luciano's Ducati. Luciano bought the Ducati from Joe through EBC, and of course they're riding together. So what we're planning to do is in the future get a group shot with Luciano and Joe with the two bikes, the Augusta and the Ducati, and get a really nice, you know, something we could make a nice picture for them both. Anyway, we got to the top of the mountain, what I call Eagle's Nest, but it really isn't Eagle's Nest. And the guy with the green Kawasaki, now I don't remember his name, but it's a friend of Dwayne. We had met him, we videotaped him already up on the mountain. Had a great time with him. He's got a great sense of humor, and I hope he rides with us in the future. He was a lot of fun. A lot of good stories. And let's face it, at our age, the stories are just as important as having good tires on your bike. And there was a few other little, there was a bunch of Ducati guys that came up there. And here's Dwayne's friend's 1400. And he loves this bike. It looks whistle clean. Dwayne, see, I never get to be in any of the pictures because I take the pictures. So Dwayne shot this one of me, pretending I'm stealing the Brutale. I'm not sure Joe was all impressed with this. But here's the two bikes. This is Joe's Ducati and Joe's Brutale. So, absolutely beautiful bike. Gotta love the Brutale. See, now, if I was Luciano, I had a Ducati already, and I was going to do the Italian thing. The cool Italian thing, and Luciano, of course, is Italian. The cool thing would be to have one of every Italian bike. One Guzzi, one Aprilia, one Brutale, one whatever. That would be cool. Have the Italian flag flying in your garage. Eat a lot of mortadella well, I think he already eats the mortadella. Anyway, so then this group of Ducatis show up with, and these are the high-end, I think, I'm not sure, whatever they are, the ones that have all the accessories on them. And there was an old monster there that looked real cool. Yeah, here we go. I gotta send Dwayne this picture. I love this guy's hat. He is a load of laughs, and we really enjoyed his company today. And we hope, again, he'll ride with us in the future. We'll link up with him and try to get him on our email list. But I love the hat. See, I love that hat. That is priceless. As now, anybody who's never seen what the Ducatis look like with the timing belts exposed, I'm not sure what happened if a stone jumps in there while you're riding, or a bird or a hamster or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, this was one of the real hot ones, the real fancy ones or whatever. And Luciano, you know, what's good is because he knows a lot now about the different models of the Ducati and the different accessories, and so he could really get a conversation going right away, and we always enjoy hearing about it. I do anyway. I think he's explaining to the guy something here about his foot pegs, or where you could hide the drugs when you come across the Mexican border, and I don't know, but that's the fun. That's always the fun. And of course, every day in the summer ends with Tim and I got back. We were right on schedule. Karen had a big cup of coffee and lunch ready. And we're headed out to the garden center.